The NHL's All-Star Game was turning into a bad event where players didn't care and viewership was slipping, so they came up with the solution, the Four Nations Face-Off. But as we already through most of the tournament so far, the event has transcended beyond hockey into something much bigger. The concept, pretty self-explanatory, was that four nations, Canada, the United States, Sweden, and Finland, would play a tournament which featured a round robin and then a final game between the top two teams in that round robin. This would be the first international tournament featuring NHL talent in over 9 years, with the last being the 2016 World Cup of Hockey. Fans were hesitant at first, but in the weeks leading up to the game, excitement built, and as rosters got announced, fans were pumped to see their favorite NHLers represent their countries. The tournament though, more specifically the rivalry between America and Canada, means so much more when we take into account the clear politics at play. Let's take a look at some key political events that have totally redefined the America-Canada relationship. The current American president, Donald Trump, instigated a trade war with Canada, instituting 25% tariffs on the country that was once America's closest ally. Not only that, he has also repeatedly threatened Canada's sovereignty and referred to our commander-in-chief as a governor of the 51st state. Now, I'm Canadian, and to put it candidly, I don't like that, but this video isn't for me to express my political beliefs. Anyway, much of the Canadian population agrees with me.
I don't know, when you got a president saying we're going to be the 51st state, I don't like that.
And we've seen protests at hockey games where Canadian fans will boo the American anthem. This booing has carried into the Four Nations tournament, and the American anthem was booed in their opening game against Finland in the Montreal's Bell Center. Team USA player Matthew Tkachuk said in the media post-game that he didn't like that, which is an obvious reaction to hearing your country's anthem get booed. But that adds animosity to the fire, which is the huge USA vs Canada game on Saturday night. And boom, off the first draw, who is it but Matthew Tkachuk dropping the gloves with Canada's Brendan Hagel. Then, off the next draw after that, his brother Brady follows suit, fighting Sam Bennett. And then after a point shot, JT Miller takes his gloves off before even finding someone to fight, and ends up tilting with Colton Parayko. 3 fights, 32 penalty minutes, 9 seconds. Fans thought this intensity was incredible. Everybody was talking about it. But this is an exhibition tournament. You wouldn't see this much aggression from both sides if the political effects weren't at play. The fights were symbolism of two nations in war. This tweet is from an actual US congressional candidate, calling it a war. This reminded me so much of the 1972 Summit Series between Canada and the Soviet Union. That was even my original idea, to make a video about that series because of how heightened it was due to politics. But as I sat on my couch and watched this game, I realized I'd be making a video about the original when a sequel was unfolding before me. Keep an eye out for that video though, I'll probably still do it. Now though, for quick context, the Summit Series of 72 was an 8-game exhibition between the Soviets and Canada, two countries that were heavily involved on different sides of the Cold War, which was ongoing at the time. The Summit Series was just hockey, yes, but in a way it was metaphorically a frontline battle between two countries at war. I say metaphorically because I am in no way saying hockey is the same as actually going to war for your country, but this series acted as a test. A way for both of these countries to pit their systems, way of life, and by proxy, their economic styles against one another. The games were ruthless and dirty. Bobby Clark cheap-shotted the Soviets' best forward to injure him, and in the final game, Jean-Paul Parise was so distraught with the referee that he did this, which was somehow only the second craziest thing to happen that game. The first being Alan Eagleson, the director of Hockey Canada, getting detained by Soviet military while yelling at the goal judge. And then the Canadian players rushed the stands to rescue him. God damn, that was a crazy time. And now, as we come back to the Four Nations tournament, we see the same. Well, not exactly the same. Obviously, players can't commit literal assault on each other at random. But we see a version of that same idea that's more like the 21st century hockey that we know. The tournament represents a chance for Canada and America to pit their styles up against one another and claim dominance over the other. In the example of the 72 Summit Series, Canada won it in 8 games off the back of a Paul Henderson series winning goal. And Canada, as well as the rest of the Western world, claimed dominance over their Cold War Russian rivals, while the loss was a huge moral blow to the Soviet Union. Now, events like this rarely influence the outcome of a war. They act as microcosms for the politics at play. And with Canada and America set to face off in the tournament deciding game this Thursday, we'll see which nation takes home the moral victory. Well, at the base of it, it's just hockey. I hope you as a viewer were able to see the connection from hockey to politics. Or, just enjoy the high intensity hockey for what it is. Anyway, that's all from me. Thank you for staying all the way through. Like this video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. I'll see you all later.